We are live, we are live, we are live. Let me know who is watching. How are you all this beautiful Tuesday? How are you all, Lightworkers? For those that are new here, welcome to the Soul Work Success Group. My name is Amy, Activation Amy, on all of the socials. So I guide Lightworkers to own their unique voice, start expressing their gifts, sharing their services, shining their light in the world, and doing amazing, wonderful things with their spiritual abilities. Let me know if you are watching. Whilst people are joining, I'm going to start off with some light language. Light language is high frequency, powerful energy that shifts you out of your mind, drops you into your heart, expands you on a soul level, and allows you to receive. And today we are all about receiving. So, taking a couple of breaths. Bringing your awareness, bringing your consciousness into your heart. Feeling your consciousness expanding outwards. Maybe you can see, feel, sense an aligned colour. For me right now it's pink, so I'm embodying this pink energy. I also love pink, by the way. And pink for me is all about unconditional love. And it is actually a colour of allowing myself to receive. So I'm just going to send you now, I'm going to transmit to you some pink light codes, the colour of unconditional love. Hashunaya sahiaraya keikeneya hesiana utaneya sikiae utaneya sikuai tikai sha'anati sikeneya ha'eake Kiuroha sina kea sokumaneae, kanea hesiae, kanea hasio kore, ke tiesta kishe, ke steakura, inea ke keama inakia, nakia tukurea ia. Taking a couple of moments now, just to bring your awareness back to your breath. Back to your physical being, thanking yourself for being here today, because that is a big part of all of this stuff, is showing up for yourself, showing up for your life, showing up for your purpose work, showing up for yourself as the light worker leader that you know that you're meant to be. Okay, so who have we got? Let me just refresh. Put my specs on. So I think we've got Sarah there from what I can see. We've got Sharon, we've got Julie, and I can't see. Okay, perfect. So let me see, I'm actually live. Can you all hear me? Just let me know if you can hear me, first of all. So yeah. I think it's saying that I'm live. I don't know. Okay, right. I'm going to talk to you today about receiving, okay, and why Lightworkers really struggle with receiving and how to overcome the block or the resistance to receiving for good. So who feels like they struggle with receiving, okay, in their spiritual business, in their purpose work? Let me know in the comments below. Or do you struggle with self-care? Do you struggle with giving to yourself? Perhaps you're a bit further on in your journey of having a spiritual business and now you're struggling to make time for yourself. Do you feel like you overgive to your clients? All of that stuff. Okay, now first of all, what I want to say is, as light workers, as healers, there's an element of, and I've heard this before, yes, but Amy, I receive so much from the giving. Okay, yes, I hear you. However, that is only going to get you so far. And what you've got to remember is this. So I've done a little diagram for you today. Giving and receiving. So I know that this is like the mirror version, kind of. So when it's in perfect balance, okay, yes, that could be better. it looks more like that, right? It looks like it's quite sort of equal, right? Masculine, giving, and feminine energy, receiving. It's a spiritual law of the universe. When we block the flow of receiving for our gifts, what we are doing is we are stopping the flow. So it actually serves no one, right? So when the giving and receiving is in balance, it feels like flow, harmony, joy, and gratitude. And what this means for you as a light worker that also loves to receive from the giving itself, just like I'm doing now, you are able to give so much more. You're able to give on an expanded level because you are allowing yourself to receive, right? Tangible resources for your services, okay? So then we can give from the state of overflow. We're not giving from the state of depletion. And this is what I see so many light workers doing, so many healers doing. So when you don't allow yourself to receive, you literally block the natural flow of the universe. You're not allowing divine law. It's not spiritual to not receive. It's not spiritual to not receive for your work. Okay? So it's outdated thinking, it's outdated programming, and it serves absolutely no one in the long run. Okay? So what I'm talking about here in today's training specifically is exchange for your gifts and services. Moreover, financial exchange. Now, does this mean that, we don't help people for free? We don't help people when we feel called? Absolutely not. This is my way of giving for free. Okay, so obviously, I'm always going to be transparent with you in here. Yes, I am giving away a lot for free in here that I could charge for. I'm also doing it because I know it's going to help people. And I'm also doing it because I am going to be launching products and services that I am going to be charging money for. Okay, so that's my transparency. But it means because I am paid well for my services, I can do this. If I was still sat in a full-time job, I wouldn't be able to do this. Why? Because I'd be depleted and exhausted and I'm very, very limited. Okay, so this is what it looks like, the giving and the receiving, and this is where a lot of light workers are at right now. Not everybody, because it is getting better in the collective. We're not coming up that much anymore around like, oh, it's not okay to charge for spiritual services, blah, blah, blah. But this is what it looks like. It looks like so much giving, so much giving, but barely any receiving. Okay, so what does this translate to? Let me know if this is where you are. And I do apologise for whatever reason the comments are not coming through right now. And I can't actually see my video, so I'm just working with what we've got. But this is what it looks like, okay? That is not divine law. That's not masculine and feminine polarities in balance. Yeah, so what does this mean? Okay, it means that light workers end up being exhausted. Healers end up being exhausted. They're not feeling worthy in themselves because they're not claiming their worth within themselves. They're not accepting exchange, right? They end up in a state of depletion. They end up then, because of those things, self-sabotaging, procrastinating, right, is the biggest one, and then giving up. Because they're like, well, it's not working, no one wants to pay me, and there's not enough money, blah, 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 okay? Right? Or they end up burning out. So that's what it looks like when light workers do not receive for their work. Now, let me see if we can get the comments up on here. I still don't think we're getting them. If any of that resonates with you, please do let me know. Yeah, it's still not showing. Oh yeah, there we are. Oh, hello. Yay, okay, I've got my comments. Okay, Julie. Right, I give a lot of readings, but it would be good to receive money for doing some in spite money is a swear word in the spiritual world. Yeah, I don't experience that anymore though, and I don't come up against that, and I'm going to explain why, okay? Because it is a state of being, right, that you're embodying, that you're attracting that type of person. And I'm going to be very, very blunt and very direct with you in here, and I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. All of this is about taking responsibility for your reality. Does that mean things are your fault? No, it doesn't. But when you have the awareness of something, which is what I'm giving you in this group, then it's time to start taking responsibility. It's time to start looking at what's going on within you, because it's all a belief system, and what is happening in the external is being mirrored back to you. So we're going to dive a lot deeper into this now. So please do keep letting me know in the comments if it's resonating, what you're receiving from this. Okay. So let's have a see. Have we got the comments? Julie resonates perfectly. Sharon, camera moving. Yeah, there's nothing I can do about the camera, Sarah. The reason why it's doing that is because with Facebook, what it tends to do normally, it pixelates it. So why it's doing that is to keep the clear picture. So it's a new camera. It's what a lot of the new cameras have got. Otherwise it ends up being very, very blurred, so that's why. So sorry about that, there's nothing that I can do. Sharon, yes, I can hear you, amazing. Yes, I struggle with receiving. Yes, I totally understand what you're saying. I'm getting better at charging, but still don't like it. Okay, so here's what we're going to dive into, and it's really looking at why don't you like it? What's coming up around that? Okay, what's the, what's the contraction about, right? It's this, okay? So, common beliefs around receiving, okay? Again, spiritual work should be for free. Bullshit, okay? I don't want to seem greedy, okay? I have to give away everything for free in order to be worthy. Okay, so the root causes of receiving. This is the biggest one for me, and it's something that I've been doing a lot of work on, and it's huge, okay, for light workers and healers. People pleasing. And the people pleasing behaviours come from childhood conditioning. And for me, what that looked like, I grew up in the Mormon church, and my dad was incredibly strict, right? And if you weren't seen to be behaving in a certain way, then I wasn't being very spiritual. Right, that was the thing that I got kind of programmed into me, and it's something that I've really had to overcome. And there was a lot there, like around tithing to the Mormon church and all of that, in that, like, if you didn't, when you received, you then had to give away a certain amount of money, which I do believe is important. It's important to give to charity, and the more that we do this work, yes, but it's the obligation that came with it. So there was this belief in me that whenever I received for my gifts, for my healing work, I immediately had to give it away, or had to give more so that I could be worthy of it, right? So it's really looking at all of this stuff, right? So, past life vows of poverty or servitude. Yes, and what I see a lot in the Lightworker community is, because I had such and such past life, that then means that now whatever, it's okay. Right, so I do quantum healing work. That is a big part of the programs. I do some work around past life in there. Quantum healing hypnosis, okay, in particular. However, what always comes through in these sessions, like always, it's the message that always comes through the guides, the higher self, is that you are the operant power in your reality now. You are creating your reality now through your consciousness. On some level, it will come through in many different ways. It is time to take responsibility. It's time for you to take your power back. And that's what I'm all about, empowerment. And empowerment comes from the now moment and looking at what's going on up here, which then projects the energy out, okay? So societal programming that says spiritual gifts and real work, okay? Because this is what I've seen with this one. It's not a tangible thing. Your spiritual, so for example, when you go to Tesco, you go and buy a tin of beans, right? And then you pay for that tin of beans. And what comes up for a lot of people, and what causes a lot of the imposter syndrome, is because It's not like a 3D physical thing. And it can be like people buying crystals and jewelry or whatever, but a lot of the time Lightworkers are selling themselves. They're selling not themselves but their energy and their service. And because it's not the same as like when monetary exchange, you've been given something physical, okay, people are like, oh no, I'm not worthy to sell that, so I need to give it for free because I love doing this. That's another one. I enjoy doing this and therefore I shouldn't receive for something I enjoy. Yes, again, we get so much, we receive so much from the giving of what we have, but it's blocking the flow when you don't accept exchange for it. And yes, the universe can give you exchange, but again, you can receive, you can do so much more when you allow yourself to actually receive and you actually charge your worth and you don't constrict that. Okay, so it can also look like things that can be a root cause of blocking the flow of exchange. It's like there's a nervous system block as well. So the more that you work on your nervous system, on being calm around receiving, I'm going to go into that a little bit later on, it's a state of embodiment with receiving, and that takes practice. So do you ever find yourself when someone gives you a compliment, and I've had to really learn to do this, it's like when someone gives you a compliment, you either try and brush it off or you try and downplay it. Like, for example, oh, someone will compliment, I don't know, like say someone compliments this fleece and I'll be like, oh, it was only from Primark, right? But I actually love this thing. I'm vibing off it. You know, instead of just saying thank you. Like, that's an example of how we might downplay it. So you've really got to look at all of this because all of it translates to your energetic state of receiving, which translates to you receiving money for your services, which translates to you receiving clients for your services, which translates to opportunities, being asked to do things, expanding your business, expanding your services. Julie, yeah, I do that. Yeah. Okay, Sharon, I start quantum healing. Yeah, 23rd of Feb. I love quantum healing, anything to do with that. So powerful. Okay, so do you have discomfort? This is a big one for me. If someone offers to pay for your meal, and I did it, so I've been really monitoring my receiving, and my friend offered to pay for like a meal the other week, and it's like, no, I'll pay for it. It's like you won't allow yourself to receive instead of saying, thank you, that's really lovely of you to do that. You're not allowing the receiving energy to come in. Again, all of these things add up to you receiving for your spiritual gifts. Okay, right. As I talked about last week, the 3 core things to having a successful Lightworker business. So one was channeling, having your connection to source, the divine, your angels, your guides. You remember the triangle. The other one was your identity, who you believe yourself to be, your self-concept, massively important. And the other one was the aligned action. And pretty much everyone was saying that they struggled the most with the identity. They struggled the most with their self-concept. It's a lot of this stuff around receiving clients, opportunities and money is around who you believe yourself to be in relation to that, okay? So your self-concept is your identity, how you see yourself. Your inner conversations will let you know where your self-concept is at, your concept of self. But your self-concept is also who you believe yourself to be in relation to other people. So if you are somebody that is constantly saying things like, people don't have the money right now, people don't want to pay me, people don't need what I have to give, people aren't interested in this, I don't think people see this as important, guess what? Guess what you're going to receive? And this is why I'm saying it's all an inner game. You've got to work on your self-concept, and that's what we're going to be covering mostly today. And what we're mostly going to be covering in here, because when we've got that self-belief, when we know that we're powerful, when we know that we're worthy of receiving, we start to attract a different experience. So it's not so much about the law of attraction, but more about the law of assumption. The law of assumption is who you believe yourself to be and who you believe other people are in relation to you. So if you want to dive deeper into the law of assumption, I strongly recommend on YouTube you follow a channel called Neville Goddard. Neville Goddard was a famous author and a famous speaker who was way before his time, okay, with all of the manifestation stuff. And I think it was sort of around the 1940s that he was delivering talks and all of that. And that it will just absolutely nail it and completely break it down, okay, when you listen to his talks about conscious creation and how reality works. And he's all about taking responsibility for your reality. He's all about empowerment, and that's the same as myself, okay? I'm not about getting into any of this victim mentality, right? And it's not about victim shaming. It's about you are powerful, and you are especially powerful with your healing work, right? So it's the law of cause and effect. Your beliefs are the cause. The effect, what's external, is the effect of what you believe to be true about you, about money, about receiving clients, about your spiritual work. And this is what we need to look at. We need to be doing the work on. So your self-concept is the key to receiving. It is the identity shift, not the economy, not what everyone else is saying about people having money, not prices going up, not any of that stuff. It doesn't matter. Is it a fact that people are struggling right now? Yes, okay? But there is always another way of looking at it. The other way of looking at it is more and more and more people are awakening to spirituality. More and more people need help right now from healers, coaches, therapists, just like you. More and more people are willing to invest in spirituality. Why? Because people are sick of all of it and they want to transform their lives. And those that are empowered also, that have been working on themselves for a while, that have been investing in themselves, are worthy of being paid. Facts, okay? So how do we shift this for good? So as I was saying, it's about working on your beliefs around receiving and becoming somebody that has a really good self-concept around receiving. Working on your beliefs around receiving, okay? So what does that look like? So, Julie's hearts, thank you. Yeah. So if you are someone who has a good self-concept with receiving, what would the thoughts be that you would be thinking? So first of all, with self-concept work, with, you know, any spiritual work, there's awareness. So I'm giving you that awareness today, right? And if you resonate with this, great. If you don't resonate with this, okay, I'm probably not for you, right? I'm very, very blunt. I'm very, very to the point about all of this stuff, right? So it's like awareness. What does that mean? It means you start to notice the thoughts that you are thinking in relation to you and your spiritual business, receiving clients, receiving exchange, monetary exchange, receiving opportunities. You start to really, really notice the thoughts that you are thinking when it comes to all of this stuff, because you have to start interrupting your thought process. Your thoughts create your feelings, which creates your energy. Your energy then attracts. That's how it works, okay? Spiritual law. So you've got to start having awareness of where your thoughts are going, where your inner conversations are, the stories that you are telling about yourself, okay? The stories that you're telling about your past and how you are giving that meaning as to whether you are worthy of receiving for your beautiful work. Okay, so let's just go through some of the things that, you know, some of the inner conversations that you would be having with yourself if you had a good or a positive self-concept around receiving. So you wouldn't be thinking there's not enough clients, people don't make enough money for this, people don't want to invest in me, I can't charge this much, right? Another thing that I just want to cover, right, that like, oh my God, right, this is such a huge one. It is not time for money when it comes to charging for your spiritual services. It is absolutely not time for money. That is 9 to 5 corporate job. When you go and work in a normal job, right? Like, so I worked in a call center for years and years. I worked for, you know, in banking, I worked in retail, I worked in warehouses. That is time for money. You are being paid for your time, okay? This is not the same. You are being paid for the transformation that your service provides. That is how you charge. That is what people pay you money for. It is not time for money, right? And I'll give you an example of this. So me and my mum, I had to say this to my mum the other day, right? So my mum is an amazing medium. You'll see us doing stuff, you know, together. We do angelic Reiki attunements together and all this. So we're actually in the process of creating a brand new course. We've had this in the pipeline for a while. It's going to be like 10 weeks long. It's going to be really, really in depth with all the angelic healing stuff, working with the different archangels, bringing in light language. It's going to be mega. It's coming out in a few weeks, right? And I was saying what the price is going to be. And straight away, she went to the calculator and she started calculating the number of sessions, right? Do you do this for the price? And I was like, what are you doing? And she was like, well, I'm seeing how much it'd be per session. And I'm like, mother, like, come on. Like, we're not charging for time. It's not your time that people pay for, right? So people pay for the transformation. They pay for the results. When you give your gift, so I've spent around about 8 years now investing in myself. You've got to look at all of the investment that you've made in yourself, the journey that you've been on, the amount of time that you spend on all of this stuff, right? So what are you then, what's going to be the end result of them having this service with you? So I know that the courses and programs that I offer change lives. So of course I'm going to charge my worth for that. But what a lot of people do is they go, oh no, so it's like 3 hours here. Let's see what that translates to. And then it's just like, no, if you're doing that, stop doing that. Look at the results. Look at your energy. Okay. Look at all of the investments that you've made over the years and start charging your worth. Okay. So the conversations that you have, the inner conversations of someone with a positive self-concept would be, I am someone who attracts aligned clients easily. I am someone who easily attracts aligned clients. I love my clients. I love that they always get amazing results and that they love to continue the journey with me if they feel called, okay? I am powerful, and aligned clients who are ready to pay me now naturally gravitate towards me. It's safe. This is where you're interrupting your nervous system. You're letting your nervous system know it's safe. It's safe for me to receive a lot of money and a lot of clients, students, or whatever you do, space holders, whatever, right? It's safe for me to receive. It is safe for me to receive. It's easy for me to charge my worth because I value myself and therefore other people value me. Again, self-concept, everyone is you pushed out. When you value yourself, when you value your work, other people will value it. And here's the thing, if you've been someone that's not been doing that, there's going to be a lag time as the 3D catches up to your new self-concept, because it takes time for the 3D reality to shift. And that's why perseverance is key. So, you know, this is not like an overnight thing. This is an ongoing rest of your life thing. Self-concept it's the core of your beingness. Yeah, it's safe for me to receive, and then feel that safety in your body, because the mental, you know, interruption, it's also about feeling it in your body. So you're teaching yourself, you're training your mind to do something that it's probably never done before. So it's safe for me, if you're someone that's undercharging right now, it's safe for me to put my prices up and charge more as I grow and I expand. Okay, we're always growing, we're always expanding. I know I've massively grown and expanded in the last few months. So of course I'm going to start charging more, because the results that my clients are going to get is going to be a lot more. So it's safe for me to put my prices up. Yeah. I am worthy of receiving because I exist. We're worthy because we exist. This is the whole thing. It's like, you know, like you're worthy because you are you, right? So this one is not mine. This one is from Amanda Francis, who is an amazing money mentor. So I've done some of her courses. My gifts are of high service and worthy of massive compensation. My gifts are of high service and worthy of massive compensation. I don't need to overgive and deplete myself in order to receive, because it's natural to receive money and clients. This is what I do. This is who I am. It's natural. So you've got to start tricking your mind to believe it's natural. And again, this is not an overnight thing. These are things that you're going to be, you know, really, when in your mind you start saying to yourself, no one's got any money, this, that, and the other, victim mentality. These are the things you want to be starting to change it to, right? So my gifts are valuable. Again, value, you valuing yourself, you knowing the power of what you have to give. This is how you overcome imposter syndrome. Yeah, my gifts are valuable, and it's normal for me to receive for my gifts. I am worthy of receiving abundance for my spiritual work. The word abundance doesn't really work for me. Let me know how you feel about it. It's just like, it's because words that work for me are words that I would use in an everyday conversation with a friend. I don't really like, it's not a word that I resonate with, and it's not because, I don't know, I just think it's a bit of a weird word, like prosperity, financial freedom, wealth, money, yeah, but abundance is just not like a word that I feel that we use in our language, right? So my work is a divine gift, and I honour it. This is a good one. I honour it by receiving in return. And again, when you think about coming back to that infinity sign, yeah, the giving and the receiving, it's the natural flow. Always coming back to simplicity with all of this stuff, thinking about nature. When a tree receives through its roots, through the soil, is it there thinking, I'm not worthy of this, I can't have this? No, it's only humans that do that. It's literally only humans that do that, because we're learning to overcome the stories that we've been telling ourselves all of our lives about receiving. Yeah? So, embodying the frequency, how to embody the frequency of receiving. What does embodiment mean? So it's one of those spiritual words that are bandied around a lot. So I'll explain to you what embodiment means to me. Embodiment means, so I've got somewhere that I desire to be, okay? So right now, I am expanding everything that I'm doing. My goal, and I'm a way off from this right now, is to have a 6-figure business. I've been doing this full time for 3 years, and it's time to expand everything that I'm doing, reach more people, support more people, and receive for everything that I've invested in on a much bigger scale. So in order for me to embody the state, okay, I have to now change my thoughts to somebody that thinks as if they already have a 6-figure business. So whilst, you know, people are doing this work, whilst you might be doing this work, I'm also doing this work because there's always a new level to go to. There's always more people that you can help. As souls, we're not meant to stay in the same place. The nature of the soul is to grow, to expand and transform. So we are always growing, right? So I'm now embodying the frequency of receiving on another level for this work. So how do we start off though? You know, like I was saying about someone that wanted to pay for a meal for me, I'm fighting for my limitations going, no, I'll pay for it, yeah? And it's like, you've got to start small. You've got to start to accept compliments, start to notice the subtle ways in which you try not to receive, yeah? Like, because there's a part of you when you're doing that has resistance to receiving, that doesn't feel worthy, that isn't valuing yourself. You're not allowing that exchange. So you've got to start noticing that. So if someone wants to do something for you, someone offers to carry your bag, Even if you don't necessarily need it, if somebody offers to do something for you, I'm going to challenge you to start allowing them to do it. Start saying yes. Start saying yes to things and feel the expansion of that yes. Because it's going to allow you to start receiving in order for your services. So this is a big one. I really believe in the power of working with the inner child, because when you speak to the inner child, when you do inner child work, you get into the very root, you get into the very core of all of it, because all of this stuff, it starts more often than not in childhood, in your childhood years, in your teenage years, and then that story is reinforced again and again and again throughout your life through different situations. So what we're doing is we're breaking the pattern, we're understanding what's going on, and then we're changing our self-concept around receiving. And again, I'm going to sound like a broken record, but repetition creates results. So talking to yourself lovingly, talking to your inner child, when you're like feeling that, oh, like, I don't know, I'm scared to raise my prices, I'm scared to charge money, I'm scared to do this opportunity, I'm scared to do this talking thing, but I know that I want to do it, I'm scared to go live, I'm scared to be seen. This is when you want to talk to your inner child, right? And it's very, very simple. And what you're going to do, okay, so we'll do an exercise. I'll do a bit of an exercise with you now. So I want you to take some breaths. Just going to do a little bit of channeling for a minute. Ma'ayatia koraya sekia, sokoraya, sokoraya, sokoraya. So we're going to call forward our inner child. Your inner child, if it's easier for you to think about him or her, they, this way, just thinking about like a smaller version of you. And just noticing what your inner child is doing right now. Are they playing? Are they upset? What is it that your inner child is doing? And I'm going to invite you to pick up your inner child. Place your inner child on your knee. And we're just going to have a gentle, loving conversation with your inner child now. So just imagining that you're brushing away their hair and that you're hugging them, and just imagining that they're expressing to you in this moment that they're afraid. They feel afraid because they've got something to share, they've got something to give, but you've been ignoring that and you've been holding back. And just allowing them to speak just for a moment. What is it that they have to give? What is it that they have to share? And whatever that thing is now, I want you to give to your inner child. This is how we receive from ourselves, okay? So I want you to let them know it's safe for you to be you. You are worthy of all of the love. I see you. I see you. You are so beautiful. I hear you. I love you. And I'm going to be right here with you as you start to share yourself, as you start to play more, as you start to have more joy around sharing your gifts. I want you to know that you are worthy of receiving. I want you to know that it's safe to be seen. I want you to know that you're worthy of all of the love and all of the joy. And we're going to have fun while we do this. Let's do this together. I am here for you. I am here to support you. And just let your inner child know if there's anything else that they wish to express to you for a moment. Just asking them if there's anything else that they need from you. And whatever that thing is, just giving them that. Maybe it's a hug, maybe it's attention. This is how you receive from yourself. And when you start to receive from yourself through your inner conversation, your inner child, everything becomes easier around receiving. And just imagining now that you're giving your inner child that hug and they're melting into you. I'm going to send in some light codes just for integration of this now. Inea hastura ya siki mate kenea sahae. Nahako raya sekia. Nekia nae. Nasha asuko raya. Kia la haratene. Haraya nae. Ko anase. Ko anasikia nae. And just breathing all this beautiful love in. Knowing that you've allowed yourself to receive. Saying thank you to yourself, saying thank you to your inner child for being brave and for expressing themselves. And knowing that this is a big part of expressing yourself. When you make it safe within to express yourself, it becomes safe in the external too, because nobody else can tell you who you are because you already know. And then when you're ready, just opening your eyes. So let me know how you received that in your comments. This work is so powerful, right? Working on your inner child, working on your self-identity, your self-concept. It's not so much about, yes, it's about taking the actions in the external, okay? But the thing is, you can be taking all of the action, but nothing can be happening because you've still got the inner belief that for whatever reason, you know, it's not safe for you to receive. The more we make it safe to receive, all of the actions start to become easier. And as we start to receive within, what then happens is opportunities start to present themselves that you did not see before, that you now see because you are somebody that is worthy. You know your worthiness. You are always worthy. It's the knowing of it, right? You now see them. You now show up for the opportunities because you know yourself as somebody who is worthy of receiving. Yeah, so that made me cry. I do forget about my inner child. Yeah, she asked for something beautiful. Didn't have a lot as a child. She needed a hug too. Inner child work is massive, right? It's huge for all of this stuff. I speak to my inner child a couple of times a day, and it doesn't have to be like a big process. It's really noticing how you feel and giving yourself what you need in that moment. It's very, very simple. All of this work is incredibly simple, but it's not necessarily easy. It's not, right, the hardest part of all of this is the discipline around this, yeah? And really noticing where your thoughts are going with all of this stuff, yeah? And then when you've noticed that you know you're feeling off, you're having this thought, it's getting your journal out and it's writing what's going on. When was the first time that I felt like this? What do I need from myself right now? It's giving yourself that safety, that reassurance. This is the receiving. You're receiving from yourself. So you receive in the external. You're not afraid of asking for money. You're not afraid of raising your prices. You're not afraid of selling, okay? Selling is just giving somebody an opportunity to work with you. We're not taking something from somebody. It's allowing that person the opportunity to take a journey with you or to have a session with you. It's an opportunity, but it comes from the overflow. This is the difference with having a successful spiritual business and not. You're giving from the overflow because you are allowing yourself to receive. Okay, Sharon, that was powerful. My inner child was sat in a corner. She wants inner peace and happiness. She made me cry. Oh, so the inner child work, you know, like it's gonna do that it's gonna allow you to release those emotions, but that's a good thing. And it's not, over time, as you practice this more and more, you're not necessarily gonna cry, okay? The reason that we cry like that is because usually on top of that, especially when it comes to you know, living your purpose, having a spiritual business, there's this level of frustration, especially if you've been doing it a while, and like that can lead to resentment because you're like, I'm doing all the things but nobody is buying, right? And then that builds up as a resentment, as a frustration within, and that's the time when you want to go and talk to your inner child and allow yourself to have that release. Because when we work with the inner child, what we're essentially doing is, you're not looking for the external thing, and that's what this is all about. You're giving it to yourself. When we give it to ourselves, when we receive from ourselves, we receive clients, we receive money, we receive love, relationships, okay? Giving to yourself is the receiving. That is the piece, the self-concept. It's the identity shift of being somebody that receives. Today has changed my way of thinking. I love it. Thanks. I'm so ready for change. Yay! So good, so good, so good. I might actually put that on the thing that I was going to say, Julie, if that's okay, because I feel like the more that I share, you know, this is me sharing. The more that I share, okay, it's people are going to receive from that. Yeah, my inner child says she's frightened of moving forward. She doesn't want to go backwards from where we are now. So then it's asking her, what are you afraid of? Okay. And reassuring her, we're not going to go backwards, sweetie. You know, we can't go backwards. We're not going to go back to the past. It's safe. It's safe for us to move forwards. What do you need for it to be safe? What do you need to know? What's the reassurance? So it's going one level deeper with that. Yeah. It's going, why do you feel that way? What can I give you? Yeah. It's looking at that, and sometimes your inner child's going to go, you know what, I just need rest right now. I just need to have a rest. Okay, let's have a rest. And then we're going to move forward. You've literally got to talk to your inner child to get to the bottom of what it is. So it's just going a little bit deeper with that, Sarah. Okay, if you have found value today, please do share in the group. Please, you know, share this space with other people that you feel will resonate with this. The worksheet that I'm going to give you is going to have those affirmations on there that I mentioned earlier on. I'm going to give you an embodiment exercise as well to start being in the state of receiving. Yeah, so I hope you enjoyed it. Again, do let me know. Let me know what you're struggling with, because I can create content on that. This training is only available for 14 days in this space. So do make sure that you watch it, okay? Or, you know, watch it back, download the worksheet. The reason I'm only putting them in here for 14 days is because if I leave them in here forever, people will just never do them. So it's important to give people a reason to move forwards, right? Next week, I think probably, it depends, I'm going to be doing like a mini challenge in here, like a 3-day challenge with my mum, which is going to form the bonus for our forthcoming 10-week course, okay? And that's going to again be available for a couple of weeks as well. So it's going to be on angel healing and light language activation, okay? So it's going to be loads of fun, helping you to apply, you know, working with the angels and light language to your purpose work, and helping it to empower your voice to speak your truth, to share your gifts. You're very welcome, Sarah. Today has been amazing and very helpful. Cheers, darling. You're very, very, very welcome. Again, please share this group, because you know, it's all about sharing the light. I want as many people as possible doing this work, sharing their gifts, because that is ultimately how we are going to change the collective. Okay, there is in March as well, I am going to be looking at doing some sort of live networking online Zoom thing where Lightworkers can network. We can see how we can support one another in our business. You can make friends, you can get to know other people. I'm not going to be charging for that. Again, I feel like it's part of my purpose to do this. I'm not going to be teaching in that space, you know. So again, if you feel that anyone could benefit from this, please share the wealth. Okay, Sharon, thank you today. It's been amazing. You're very, very, very welcome. So take care, lots of love, and I'll let you know about the 3-day challenge thing coming soon. Okie doke. Bye. Have a great day.